Scarbo, happy 2024, everyone. How are you doing?
Happy 2024, buddy. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So our first one of 2024, we've got the lads from Lootbox. Welcome, lads.
Welcome.
G'day. Thank
Hey,
you for
good
having
day,
us
good
on.
day.
Welcome
So,
to
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah, I was hoping
Lootbox.
2024 is a better year than 2023 for the XRPL because 2023 wasn't the greatest.
It was pretty shit, weren't it?
Yeah. Oh, look, I mean, I think there's quite a lot of projects that disappeared, but there's
A
some
few
new
rugs.
ones. Yeah, if it were more than a few rugs. So,
Yeah, let's
and
get rid of
some that
these
you wouldn't
fucking
expect it.
rugs.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of interesting projects that are popping up as well. So I'm
Including
hoping
your
for the
own.
bull run. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, we're sort of we're born in the bear market. Part of the reason why we came up with the idea was actually how difficult it was to trade NFTs and get action happening in the NFT community. So that was one of the reasons why we came up with the Lootbox project. So um, so anyway, like the overall concept with Lootbox is basically like we wanted to make the biggest degen mint on steroids that you could possibly have. So like when you're minting in a project, I mean sometimes you get something really rare that's worth valuable, or you get a common one that's not. And we just decided, well, why don't we extend that so that you include multiple projects?
Yeah.
So like with Lootbox, you can win NFTs from any number of different projects. I think we've featured well over 100 XRPL projects so far in the loot boxes that we've done, or you can win tokens from various XRPL projects like utility tokens, or
Yeah.
or the native tokens from various projects, or you can win like amounts of XRP itself. So it's basically like a big lucky draw, but everybody gets something. Some of them you probably wouldn't want, but other ones they're worth significantly more than the mint price.
So it's like a lucky dip.
It's a lucky dip, yeah, across
So
for the whole
sorry.
of the XRPL.
Yeah. So sorry. Where'd you get the NFTs from? Are they from yourselves, or do projects give them to you to
All
put
of the
on
above,
your
plus all of the above, plus we buy them.
right?
So that was one of the functions. Like, I mean, the other two founders, like DiGertsi and Sionnie and myself. I mean, we've got huge NFT collections between us. So I mean, we do source some of our prizes from that, but a lot of them, and particularly with the tokens, we just buy them. So and that was one of the ways that we can add liquidity and sort of help some of these projects mint a bit, and as well as draw attention to the projects and hopefully get them some new holders.
Nice.
So we the way that we work it out, I mean, we've been as transparent as we can. I mean, it's basically like the total value of the NFTs in any collection. It's usually around about, sometimes a bit higher, about 70% of the total mint revenue that we're going to get. So for one of the collections, if we get like we basically make 1,000, we've spent probably at least 700 on the NFTs and the tokens and the prizes in that. So that's how we make the project sustainable, and how we can roll one collection over into the next one. But the people that do buy them, they can get something that's worth like 10 times or 15 times what the mint price that they pay is. So that's the lucky dip aspect of it. So
that leads on to one of my questions, where I've thought about how will you keep it sustainable in the long term?
In the long term, like, I mean, one of the things, look, I mean, we try to look at the projects that are going to ideally appreciate in value as well, or the projects that are building stuff, or the ones that we know aren't going to rug. So that's one of the. I mean, obviously you can't be 100% certain with that, but
they rug. That's
if they rug, they rug. Like, but
part of any crypto.
But I mean, we're not. Yeah, I mean, one of the guarantees we've made to people is that we're not going to put anything in a collection that had rugged previously to us making the collection. So I mean,
Yeah.
we make them every couple of weeks. So there is a bit of a risk that something that we have as a prize in any one collection might rug in the intervening period from when we make the NFTs to when somebody gets it. But
and that could happen without you guys anyway. Someone could buy an NFT, as we all know, and it can rug. So that's part of what happens.
Yeah. So I mean, we try and help people, like, in doing due diligence, like these are projects that we've been familiar with. I mean, most of them have been established for quite some time. They're usually ones that we hold ourselves. Like, I mean, one of the other things that we've done with loot boxes, I mean, we've created a space where project developers can join, and there's a Discord role for project devs. So and they have their own chat room as well. So I mean, it's like the loot box Discord is sort of like a place where project directors can meet and mingle, swap news, set up collabs,
as well as have
send nudes, the most important thing. But also, have a direct link to our community. So, and like, I mean, just because of the nature of the XRPL, I mean, like, there's a lot of different little, I suppose, social circles that people travel in, and there's not a huge amount of crossover between some of these groups. So there's like a whole bunch of people that only really invest in tokens. They don't touch NFTs. So simply because a lot of these people, like these token investors, or some of them, the first NFTs they've actually bought are utility ones rather than anything for art's sake. So for a lot of those people, because a lot of them were in the Opulence-X community when we decided to use them exclusively as our minting platform. For a lot of these people, that was the first introduction to NFTs on the XRPL that they'd had. So, and these are people that have been around, like, for almost as long on the XRPL as I have, like, more than 2 years now. But yeah, it was just a section of the XRPL that they'd never really seen before. So, so it's been good for, I suppose, cross-pollination of communities and things like that. People have discovered new NFT projects that they hadn't seen before, new artwork that they hadn't seen before, as well as it's been, I think, a way for people to also start looking at the Opulence-X Marketplace and what that project has to offer, because we've worked very closely with them since we launched our project. So yeah, it's been a good way of sort of like developing a bit more of a community hub, and sort of having I suppose a social space for both degens and devs, where everybody can get together and chat and share news and commiserate about the state of the XRPL, and looking at things getting better in the future.
I mean, it's good because you're opening people's eyes up to other projects that they might not have even heard about.
Yeah, that's the way it always is. I mean, between the three of us, like, between Sionnie and Pierre and myself, we're in a lot of different communities. I mean, some of them, Si's extremely well known across the NFT scene. So
I've never heard of him before. Lootbox, mate.
Yeah. He's probably one of his alt accounts in there that so he can play poker.
I
but
it's like.
But like even that, there's so many new projects launching all the time, and it's sort of like, I mean, a lot of people use word of mouth, particularly from when they go from one to another, simply because of all the rugs that they used to have. So yeah, I mean, this is a way that we got where people could just meet new communities and see projects that they'd never heard of before, and some of those like I said, with the people that were largely investing in tokens and stuff like the Opulence-X utility NFTs, that was pretty much the only NFTs that they'd ever bought. And then because they use the exchange there, they've sort of like a lot of those people have discovered this whole other side of the XRPL that they weren't aware of before, and vice versa. So yeah, I think it's been a useful exercise, and it's sort of becoming an interesting little community hub. And we've got some of the best degens on the XRPL that come and have a punt at getting some of these collections, and a lot of them they don't know what they're getting. They're just total degens. So they're saying, "Oh, this one looks good. What project's that?" So it's
Yeah,
like,
I mean, this
okay,
would be
and
good
then you
for
can introduce them to it. So
yeah, this would be good for new projects as well, trying to get out there because
we
someone
have
could.
we have had a few projects approach us to give us some NFTs to put either in loot boxes or to give away in rumbles and stuff like that. Simply because like it's an introduction
Yeah,
to
a
like
wider audience.
a wider audience. Yeah. So like and it's, like I mean, just because of the nature of the XRPL, particularly with the NFTs, it's such a small scene compared to other blockchains. So most people know each other in some way or another. Like I mean, everybody's familiar with each other around the Discord. So
God,
so
yeah.
if you can sort of get get some of your the word travels fast. So if somebody sees a new project that looks good, um and has good artwork and has cool devs, then eventually you'll find out about it, like get an invite off one of your contacts to jump in the new Discord. And that's what a few of the projects have used us as their starting point for, where they've donated a few NFTs for us to put in the loot boxes, and we've basically been able to give them a shout out and do a bit of a promotion of them. Obviously we're not endorsing any projects because we can't do that. But it's like a good first look for some of these projects. And like if they've been lucky, then some of the absolute degens that mint with us they've been lucky enough that they've had very good buyers and very enthusiastic NFT enthusiasts that have joined their community from getting one in a loot box randomly, and it was a project that they'd never heard of before, and then they've ended up joining the community and
Good.
really enjoying it. So so I think the main thing we wanted to do with this was basically have fun and just show off a load of different projects, and have this crazy mint that you never know what you're going to get. But I mean, if you get lucky, then you can get a very high priced NFT or some tokens or something like that.
So a quick, we've got on the screen member collection. What's the member collection?
That was the way that we looked at, basically for people that really wanted to support the project, they could become members. So with that one, we're effectively selling a part of the mint revenue as holders rewards. I did mention that basically we've got like about a 30% margin that we operate off on, roughly. So with the members NFTs, there's 150 of those, and we've sold them at various price points, and there's some that are that we're still selling at the moment. Our price point's 125 XRP.
Yeah.
And if they sell, they sell. If they don't, that's fine as well. So basically, like, we have once a month, a percentage of the mint revenue that we get from the loot box collections themselves is distributed to member holders. But so it's a ranked collection, but we just did that for fun. I mean, basically every NFT has got the same utility. And there's also like a members VIP chat room in the Discord that people get access to, and we do sort of like perks for members, like we do regular NFT or token giveaways, or rumbles for the community. I mean, we do have a lot of giveaways in our Discord. And some of that is NFTs that we've been given for free by some of these new up and coming projects that want to reach a new audience. So a lot of it just is out of our own pockets, just because we enjoy doing it. And between us, well, I mean, because of all the free mints and stuff that we get and holders rewards, I mean, we've got plenty more NFTs than what we know what to do with. So and the other thing that we're doing with the members NFTs is when we've minted out the collection, there's about 30 odd. I think there's about 32 or so that we haven't sold yet. So we're not in any great hurry. But when that mints out, like, basically every holder of a loot box is one entry into giving away an X-Punk that we've got in our treasury. So it's basically NFT worth about, like, at the time that we bought it, was about 1,000 XRP.
Wow, MD will go and get it up now, what they are now.
So, yeah, I don't know what they are now. I think
I don't know.
the floor
We had
price,
a look
the floor,
last night.
floor price,
700 odd.
Yeah.
yeah. So it hovers around a bit. So
Yeah.
like whenever there's more news about them going to the moon, I imagine the floor price will come up.
To the moon.
Yes, it's like the most cliched cringe thing you can do. But,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Jeez. Boom. So
yeah.
how often how often do you do the loot boxes? Have you got it like every month or?
Yeah, we try to have like a monthly schedule where I've actually had to deviate from it because we were supposed to have a collection coming out was it tomorrow? Yeah, normally it's usually the first and third weeks of the month on Sundays at 5 p.m. EST when we launch a collection. But I've actually just had some back pain this week, so I haven't been able to sit down and make the NFTs. But so I've delayed that for a week. But normally it's first and third weeks.
Yeah.
So like in the first week we usually do a collection of 100 loot boxes that are sold for 10 XRP each.
Damn, you answered my question, Adam. Damn. That was
Damn,
my
I answered
question.
it.
Damn.
Yeah, so and then we do usually one that's 25 loot boxes at 50 XRP each. So and obviously the spread of prizes in those is different. So I mean, obviously you've got the more high valued ones and like more chance of winning it. So you've got 1 in 25 chance of getting the top prize for the 50 XRP one and 1 in 100 of getting the top prize in the 10 XRP mint. So but we found that those two price points seem to work the best. I mean, we've tried a couple of others, but like I mean, people are prepared to have a flutter with 10 XRP and risk getting something that might have a floor price of like 1 XRP, like the at the bottom end of it. But I mean, nobody gets nothing.
Unlucky.
So,
Unlucky.
yeah, unlucky.
Yeah. Unlucky. Try again next time.
But like I mean, the top floor price NFT we had in the last one that you could get for $10, 10 XRP was 150. So so you could get something that's like worth 10, 15 times what you've paid for it. So yeah, that's the attraction of it.
Look at the draw.
Yeah, and like if we're looking at the amount of loot boxes we already have been selling, it's like we've been doing 8 collections now or something.
Yeah, we've dropped. Yeah, so we've done 8 collections of loot boxes so far.
So that's
and all but one of them sold out. So plus we sold out a couple of the tranches of the member NFTs when we started selling those. So we've had a really great response. So
that's already like 600 boxes we sold, like 4 times 100 and 4 times the
it would be like that. You can look up the number of NFTs that we've burnt.
So and in the end, the amount of people that were really complaining about, man, I got something so shitty, I think we can count them on one hand.
Yeah, and everybody
People are always complaining.
But just to say that out of the 600, not even 1% complained. So I think that's really a good result.
I'm gonna have to complain, DJ. I'm gonna have to just go on there and bitch. I'm sorry, mate. I'm gonna go on and bitch.
There's always these few, but I think in the end, if you look at it, under 1% that's not happy with what they got, also shows that people know what they degen in.
The thing is, it doesn't matter, as you all know, it doesn't matter what you do, someone's gonna bitch and moan. It doesn't matter. They're going to bitch and moan. It's human nature. They love to bitch and moan.
For me, the bitching and moaning in loot boxes have been like a absolute bare minimum.
Yeah.
Because
like, I mean, a few people occasionally ask about how to redeem the loot boxes and stuff. Because like, I mean, with ours, because we deal with, the loot box itself it's only a representation of what you've won. It doesn't actually have any value itself. So the way it is, you send the loot box back to a wallet that we have, and then manually I send out the prizes that you won back. So occasionally people are worried. It's like, it's been like 2 hours since I've sent the loot box and
come on,
I haven't got it back yet.
You should be fucking sat there waiting for them to send you a message.
What the guys say. You've
got a serious problem.
Yeah, they're saying, well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning in Australia at the moment, and Adam's probably
not good
sleeping.
enough. Not good enough. What are you sleeping for? I want it now. I'm
But
gonna redo my ticket. I'm waiting.
Yeah, well, as soon as people work out that it's like, yes, there are real people that are actually manually doing this. They've been really good about it. So
not good enough. I'm waiting, sir. I'm waiting.
You want to tell us a little bit about the revenue sharing, the 15% and all of that?
Yeah, so we basically, we make 30% more or less, and then half of that goes to the founders. We split it evenly between the three of us, and then the other half is distributed amongst the member NFT holders. So at the moment, it's not a huge amount of revenue, simply because the market isn't there. So if for a typical collection, like, I mean, the three of us will make like 50 XRP each if we're lucky. Sometimes it's less than that because we put in more in NFTs than what we bring back in the.
You're making that much?
Yeah, for only hours and hours and
you're
hours
ripping
of work.
us off. No, this is where it's all going to you guys.
So make 100 NFTs and upload them all, and making probably spend the best part of a week doing it. Oh, it's huge money, like XRPL money. But yeah, so I mean, the member revenue isn't affected by that. So it's basically straight up 15% of the mint revenue is redistributed to holders of the member cards in equal. So in equal proportions. So basically, each membership NFT is like a 150th share of the revenue. So we try and keep it as simple as possible.
You need to make it harder.
Yeah, we send that out once a month. So that's why we've been trying to get on as regular schedule as possible, just so that people know when to expect stuff. But
don't miss it, mate. Don't miss that giving out.
But yeah, look, I mean, that's going to be forever throughout the lifespan of the projects, and I mean, like us at the moment, I mean, we're doing like 100 times 10 XRP mints and 25 times 50 XRPs, because that's basically all that we can really sustain at the moment. But ideally, when the broader adoption of the XRPL, and whenever that does eventually happen, I know we've been waiting for a while.
2025, I'm going for.
Yeah, let's hope so. Hopefully 2024 is going to be a big year. But what we'd be looking at doing is doing larger mints at higher price points, that are sort of like more similar to what happens on other chains, So I mean, if we could do 100 loot boxes at 50 or 100 XRP each, or even higher, then that's obviously where the holders' revenue is going to go up as well. But I mean, it's basically, I mean, part of it is it's just down to the market conditions. I mean, we can't sell loot boxes, I mean, to people that aren't there. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what we'd like to do over the going forward is build it up, and hopefully get a lot more people that are coming and degenning into loot boxes when we do put them up, and that would allow us to do bigger collections at higher price points, and then that's obviously. It's more revenue for our holders as well.
See, that's the sticky point, isn't it? That people won't part with their XRP for some crazy reason. I mean, we were looking at it the other day, yesterday, me and MD, that you can mint for 1 XRP, and I think it was like 1%. It's like, seriously, it's 1 XRP, and these projects are struggling.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a
ridiculous.
Race to the bottom,
It really is.
No, but the thing at the moment, what I see on the XRPL is that there's like people launching a 10K collection with a mint price of 2 or 3 XRP, and they cannot even mint out.
No, and it's just crazy.
And part of it is because I think a lot of it is just a lot of AI generated
No wrong with AI, DG.
No, yeah, you know me. It misses a bit of soul, in my opinion. And if you're just launching AI images without a solid project behind or a reward system or something like that, then it's really tough for
the
projects.
AI I'm doing, buddy. There's a lot of heart and soul gone into it. Hours of it. Heart and soul is in there.
But you have a point. It's not only that it's AI without a soul. It's also just not very good art. If you compare what's going on Ethereum marketplace and the beautiful art that you see there with the, just the aesthetics and the hand-drawn things, it's much more.
See, the way I look at it,
quality.
the way I look at the XRPL is that people are just putting any shit out there, just rushing to put it out just to make a couple of XRP, and there's, as you say, there's no heart and soul behind it. It's like just put it out there hoping to get a couple of XRP. And I think this is the big problem, whether it's AI or hand-drawn or whatever. I mean, it's like chuck it out there quick.
Yeah, the AI doesn't really so much bother me. It's because, I mean, there's plenty of crappy hand-drawn art as well. But
oh god, I'm saying nothing.
Some of the projects that I'm heavily into are AI based, but there's a really cool project behind it as well, and it's well thought out, and there's a storyline and something to get engaged in.
Yeah, a lot of it. A lot of the NFTs are just chucked out there, just to putting it out, regardless of what it is. Yeah,
the floodgates have well and truly opened in terms of the number of collections, but that hasn't been commensurated with an increase in buyers.
No. Because we're still stuck at the 2,000.
Like we said, we have a 2,000 people marketplace here,
between ourselves,
selling between each other. That's right.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, if you don't need too many 10,000 NFT collections before everybody's supposed to have 1,000 of them each, and it's still not going to mint out.
And you could end up stuck with 1,000 NFTs that are just suddenly a few months down the line ain't worth anything. Well, just
or the minting stalled. Like, I mean, I know, like with some of the OGs. I mean, it's just been such a race to the bottom, because like back in the pre-XLS 14 IOU
back
token
in the 80s.
Yeah, no, I mean back in the
when I were a lad.
Yeah. I mean, when IOU tokens were coming out, I mean, it's like standard price was like 50 XRP a pop for an IOU token.
Yeah.
And now it's like, now that there is actual NFTs, and it's like what, 1 XRP and they still can't mint out.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, I know some of these devs that have these lower priced NFT collections, and they're not the worst artwork I've seen. They're not the worst projects I've seen. They're like, and there's some really nice devs, but it's like, it's kind of like, the floodgates have absolutely opened with the sheer volume of NFTs, and it's like, and there's more coming out in every day in languages you can't even read, and like, well, there's all these weird, Japanese artists that are bringing stuff out on particularly on XRP Cafe, and it's like, I mean, some
it's
of their
just an easy.
Some of it's weird, but
it's like an easy. I'll just chuck the shit out there, hoping someone will buy it. I mean, we've spoke about this before.
Yeah, and the problem is you run out of buyers so fast.
Yeah. And everything's stagnating. Everything's sitting there.
Yeah,
and nothing new's coming in.
There's not enough new people coming in.
I do think there's also a big barrier to entry, because most people probably don't hold XRP themselves. It's on Binance.
Having the wallet. Yeah.
And how do you get to an NFT? An NFT requires you're holding your own XRP, creating a wallet, and then dealing with all the seed phrase issues. That it's getting complicated for people, right? So this is very select few group that actually directly buy the NFTs. Maybe down the line we will get some easier ways of buying them for those people, but right now you have to really know your way around a wallet and all of that.
Yeah, I think that's something that the marketplaces are going to introduce as well, as like particularly for like the ones that are going to introduce like fiat on ramps and things like that. So
exactly,
that I think that's gonna make it a lot easier for people. I mean, I remember the first trade I ever made with a Zoom wallet. Like it took me about 40 minutes to work out how to do it, and that was like
you should have watched our video, buddy.
Yeah,
Come on.
I had written instructions that I found on 4chan, so you know, like, but yeah, still like working out how to buy. I think it was buying solo on the decks. Like I think that was the first trade, and it took me ages to work it out how to do it. It's like now I could probably do it blindfolded and asleep. But you know, when you're new, like I mean, I think once you've been using it for a while, I mean, it all becomes second nature, and you forget how daunting it was when you first started. But yeah, like I mean, I've heard other devs say that the 10 XRP reserve, then 2 XRP per TrustLine before you can do anything. That's a pain in the ass, and it is a barrier to entry compared to just about every other chain where you can just make a wallet and receive stuff straight away.
Or also, like you said, if the exchanges or the NFT marketplaces would offer fiat payments and then also hold the NFTs for the buyer, so the buyer doesn't have to deal with any of the wallet issues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that might help a lot. But we're a bit far away from that.
I think most of the people here are like in a self custody, but not everyone's like that. In fact, the norm, like in the web 2, is that you don't have self custodial stuff. I mean, if you have an accountant or whatever, then it remains, and that's what I think. When DiGertsi launched their NFTs, I mean, that was the approach that they took. So they've got like non-custodial wallets, but then they screwed everyone, so that it basically cost you a fortune to move it from a non-custodial to a self-custodial wallet, which was
that was ETH, right?
Oh, they were charging ETH prices.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They were. Yeah, I've seen it. And it's like, nah, you're all right. But do you think
$30 gas fees to transfer an XRPL NFT from one wallet to another, and it's like,
but you can't buy one NFT for 50 cents, right? For one XRP.
Yeah. Oh, I just gave up on that, and
you also think a lot of the problem is the stigma behind XRP as well, which puts people off. It's been dragged on, and you're going to be like, this is it. Oh, you're going to take over the world, and you're going to do all. Is that a part of the stigma as well, where people are fucking XRP?
I think there's a lot of
take over the world, and
I think there's a lot of influences that make people look like idiots.
Yeah.
Like the whole boom, all the money, 589 shit. Like, it's going to go to $47,000 per. It's like can't even get to $1, but it's going to go to 47,000. Because the banks are going to use it. It's like, no, they're not. Like, I mean, maybe 8 years ago or 10 years ago when that was first conceived, that might have been the idea. But I mean, things have well and truly moved on now.
I mean, is the problem part of the stigma behind XRP? Could this be the problem?
I think it's a large bit of the problem, and it's like, and I mean, the other thing is the functionality on the blockchain isn't there. Compared to other chains, like there's no smart contracts, there's not, I mean, and a lot of that stuff's supposed to be coming, but it's probably going to be at least another 12 months before we see any of it, or longer, like on mainnet. There's no smart contracts, there's no liquidity pools, there's no AMMs, and they want to bring some of that stuff in, but I mean, it's a very slow and grueling process for any of the upgrades. And like, I mean, I think XLS20 probably wasn't what a lot of people hoped it was going to be. A lot of, people consider that was rushed and being adopted. But I mean, it was basically that, there were all these effectively NFT projects that were running on fumes that couldn't mint. I mean, the XLS14 fiasco that they had with Sologenic. But yeah, like I mean, I'm not entirely convinced that the way that NFTs have been done, was necessily the best outcome they could have possibly had.
I've got the look that XRP just give it on, because they've been calling out for NFTs, and it was like, just give it without thinking the long term, and let's get this right. It was like, just give it on. I mean, as you said, you sat there for. When I joined XRP, like a year, just sat there of IOUs, and it was like just a rush thing, and then just give it on, because everyone wanted it, and it stagnated so quickly, it was crazy.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think, I mean, there was like a huge anticipation of what XLS20 was going to do. I mean, everyone probably thought that was going to be the flipping of the switch, like, for NFTs in particular. And if anything, like, it's had the opposite effect, because I mean, at least with the IOU tokens, you had some liquidity, and
and the excitement.
Of something, to coming to mint something. But as soon as XLS20 went live, and like, some of the marketplaces just weren't as good as what you were hoping that they were going to be.
They'd only had a year, but come on.
Yeah, and there's always bugs when stuff goes live as well. So, but yeah, there was just no adoption. Like, I mean, I think I know, I mean, being an NFT, also an IOU holder, a lot of people were expecting an influx of NFT buyers from other chains, simply because everything's cheap here, and or the transaction fees are cheap, and blah blah blah, and we've got NFTs as well. And this is sort of like, in the first wave of NFTs, where it was more about the art and collecting art and stuff like that, before the utility drive, I mean, found more of became more of the emphasis.
If I want that NFT, what's my utility? What am I getting for free? That's the other one that gets me. What am I getting for free? Fuck all. What's the utility behind it? Fuck all. Do you like it or not? And I think the XRPL community, a lot of them want something for nothing, for some crazy reason.
Then they want more for nothing, for holding it for a week.
And I don't understand why they think everything should be, what do I get as well as? Nothing, mate.
I think there was a culture created early on with all the airdrops and stuff.
Airdrops, that's what I was going to say. It's the culture of the airdrops, where it was, I mean, me and MD were talking about, it was crazy. Airdrops were crazy. It was like 10, 15 a day of it.
Yeah, indeed.
Airdrop.
But it created a certain
culture
type of crypto enthusiast, because you see, it's not only on the XRPL, you see it on Solana as well. And all they do all day is hunt and farm airdrops and whitelists and stuff like that. They just the only goal they have is get as much shit for free,
for fuck all,
to make money on it, because they got it for free, and they think that's a legit way of living, while it's just screwing over hardworking people that develop projects, utility, put in their time and effort, blood, sweat, and tears, and in the end they get fucked because some people just dump on them because they want their free money.
I've got it now. I'm dumping it.
I'm recalling X Meta while we're talking about that.
Whoa, bro, you can't be calling
X Meta.
You can't be calling
0.00000. Yeah.
You'll have us done. Never mind. Fuck off.
I think the free mint culture crept in pretty rapidly to the NFT scene as well.
Yeah.
And so that became the new airdrops. So and with a similar effect. If you look at it, it's like, I mean, with the airdrops, I mean, some people held them and still hold them forever, but a lot of people just sell them as soon as they can get them, or farm them with multiple accounts. And
I must admit, I did get a lot of them and dump them. I must admit, I did do that. So, yeah.
What, airdrops and tokens?
Yeah, airdrop and dump it. Oh, I must admit,
some of them. Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, some of them, like, I'd get the airdrop and I'd read the white paper, and if it didn't look interesting, I'd generally sell it. But some of them, I think I was in 120 projects or something. It's ridiculous.
You airdrop farmer, you.
I only had the one account though. Like that, I was mainly only one account, but yeah, that
me
was
and MD probably looked at yours and laughed at you, mate. Look at this guy with all
I
these.
got labeled a farmer because I had like so many trust lines and stuff. But it was just like I was just trying to get into all these new and exciting projects that were launching at the time on the XRPL. But
people were setting up Google spreadsheets, right, that you could look at.
Airdrop schedules and
wild times.
Yeah, and if you people getting rugged every 20 minutes or something.
Indeed.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I think that's like sort of crept into the NFT scene a bit as well.
Yeah.
Like, with all the free mints.
It's the
and
freebies
the trouble is,
constantly.
like, yeah, and like, I mean, people, they'll say, okay, you have this free whitelist or something like that, where, you 100 NFTs people can get for free, and then the mint price for the public's going to be 10 XRP. So, invariably, like a bunch of those, people that get them for free, like list them at 3 XRP. So it doesn't matter. They'll list whatever the mint price is. They're going to list below it for something. That they've
definitely.
got for free, and then kill the momentum.
Project.
Yeah, kill the project. It's like So and that seems to be a thing. And so there's a few projects that are sort of developing techniques to sort of circumvent that a bit. But I mean that is something that is a phenomenon across the XRPL. And so it's good that one of the things that we don't really have to deal with in Lootbox because
whitelist,
because we burn our NFTs as soon as somebody buys it, they're designed to get destroyed.
Whitelist. How to whitelist, sir?
Yeah. Oh well, you'll get people turning up to get their free shit, and then you'll never see hide nor hear of them again. But yeah, like I mean, I think that's one of the things that I'm hopeful for this year is that for whatever it takes. I mean, whether it's the end of all the legal proceedings against Ripple itself. But I don't know. I mean, I think one of the things that really needs to die before the XRPL is going to take off is this whole narrative that XRP itself is going to be worth a fortune, and people should never spend it on anything because they don't want to be the Bitcoin pizza guy. But you bought an NFT for 2 XRP. Oh, you could have bought a house with that just soon.
If you'd have
any day now, it's like
if you'd have hung on for 50 years. You could have brought that house, mate, with that 1 XRP. And as you say, the influencers and all the rest of them have got a lot to answer for. They're all, we're XRP, but you're killing XRP by saying all this because you're influencing people who don't do research, who do not read anything, and they believe everything these people say.
Yeah,
I
think that's the problem. And you look at like the number of Twitter followers some of these shitfluencers.
Oh mate,
like 100,000 people following them on Twitter. It's crazy. Like I could listen to them for free, but I'm not going to because they're full of shit. In the meantime, you've got like some of the people that have been building on the XRPL for like 2 years. They've got like 2,000 followers because they're not telling people what they want to hear.
Exactly.
I mean, me and MD had this discussion where you look at the YouTubers and all they do is read about XRP and what's happening. These people who subscribe to them haven't got a clue what's happening. They just, I'll follow him because he might know what he's on about. Or they pay people to. They do giveaways for followers. So that's the other thing. And it's like, they just use bots. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these people are genuinely stupid people if you actually listen to them. Oh, mate.
That don't know what they're talking about, and they've worked out there's a market in. Or they can monetize telling people what they want to hear. They're kind of like that.
Yeah, I want to hear that XRP
crypto influence version of OnlyFans thoughts.
We've always refused to put out this kind of content. Our goal was always to be.
I believe XRP is going to go to the moon, 589 and all. We'd have hundreds of subscribers. We'd have so many more subscribers, but it's bullshit. Yeah. And one day you can turn around and say, I told you. Well, mate, that's 5 years ago. You were saying this shit.
Yeah.
But these people don't care.
Yeah, look, I mean, you imagine if there was 1,000 times more people using the ledger than there is now. If you, even if you keep like the 10 XRP reserves and the 2 XRP per trust lines, just think about how much XRP that would take off the market.
Yeah.
Like if you had 1,000 times the number of people using the ledger now, all of that XRP that would need to be bought to be tied up in trust lines and reserves. It's like, yeah, well, that's how you increase the demand for XRP. Plus, what gets burnt, the small amount that gets burnt using transactions or creating tokens. It's like that's how you raise the price of XRP. You increase the amount that it's actually used.
Yeah.
So,
Decrease the amount that's available. That's economics.
Yeah.
It's supply and demand.
But I mean, I personally think it's using the ledger and using the ecosystem, because, like, I mean, that's having a thriving XRPL ecosystem is what's going to draw more people in to use it. So, or the idea that you can actually make financial returns or investing on something in the XRPL or speculating or whatever you want to do. But whilst it's a very limited blockchain, you're not going to get the buyers coming in because the money's not there. It's kind of like a chicken and the egg thing. But I think, if you want to,
I would say the chicken.
Yeah.
No, I'm with the chicken
Probably.
here.
But
everything
yeah,
tastes
like, I mean,
like chicken.
I think that's what's really going to improve things, is to, like, if the emphasis goes on, just sit around and with your XRP and don't give it to anybody, but the banks are going to come and buy it off you and they're going to make you rich.
Oh, yeah, of course they are.
Here's another theory. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, God, yeah. The banks
forget about bank secrecy or central bank digital currencies or anything that they could do to create their own parallel system to cut out people like you. No, it's the banks are going to hand over all their money to you.
Oh, of course they are. That's what banks do.
Yeah. Like, and it's like anyone that's ever, like, issued a token or anything like that themselves on the XRPL, like, it's like it costs you $50 and you can issue as many tokens as you want. And you can have it like fiat style. You don't have to black hole it. It's like, I mean, the token that we have, I mean, we basically use, because we burn our loot boxes, we send people what they're called LootRaider tokens. They're basically just proof of mint. But having made a token on the XRPL, it's like it costs you $50. It takes about 20 minutes, and you can issue as many tokens as you want. And it's like my attitude is like, well, if the banks were going to use the ledger or ledger-like technology, they're just going to have a walled garden side chain that they can use that you won't be able to, and in terms of the XRP, the only thing they'd need XRP for itself is for transactions, or if they duplicate something like Zahao, they can make their own native token for transaction fees there and not need XRP at all. And you can just issue a token for everything else. So the idea that the bank reserves are going to be an XRP and that they're going to use it for bank settlements, like it's the biggest load of bloody nonsense I've ever heard. And it's like, I mean, that might have been the intent like 10 years ago when all of that stuff first came out. But I mean, the world's
mate, if you went on Twitter, you'd have about 20,000 followers within about 3 days.
Yeah, dispute that bullshit.
Do it. Yeah.
99% screw that bullshit.
And look, I mean, I was somebody that probably believed that like a couple of years ago when I got in, but then not knowing how anything worked, or knowing I suppose how out of date that type of news was. I mean, like, a lot's happened in crypto in 10 years, and like the XRPL is sort of falling behind in certain areas as well. So it's good to see some of these amendments coming out that hopefully give a bit more functionality, and hopefully a few more developer tools for people that are building on the XRPL, because, like, I mean, like the whole let's just sit around and wait for the banks to make us rich, like, it's got to be one of the worst narratives for that's holding back the development of the ledger, in my opinion.
But in the end,
we're gonna do it.
But it's also, look at how booming Solana is at the moment with all the shit coins and meme coins, and the amount of money that's going around there. And you compare it to XRP, it's also money goes where money flows. It's like if there would be really huge amounts of money to be made on the XRPL, people would have been here, I think.
There was like, there was huge amounts of money going around the XRPL when it first launched, like in late 2021.
Yeah.
The price, the valuations that you get were crazy. Like, I mean, like Sologenic was up to what, 7.5 XRP per token for solo. And same with a lot of them. They've never gone close to the valuations that they had like when that started. But I mean, there was probably about 3 times the number of people actively trading on the XRPL then as well, I think. Like, I mean, the bear market, I mean, a lot of people have left either through frustration or just
lawsuit even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lawsuit, but also a comment I hear often is like XRPL and people from the NFT scene, they say, yeah, but it's all copycat collections. So like there's so many not original collections coming out and not backed by any nice technology or nice mechanisms behind it. So in that way, Adam is right, I think, in saying that we are lagging behind, and they really should start playing catch up on this, because otherwise, people just outrun them.
I have a question for you guys, and I see, Adam, you're quite good at this. What is your guys' opinion on the Bitcoin ETF, and how is this going to affect XRP, if at all?
It makes it easier for, I suppose, your normie investors. But I mean, Bitcoin, the original dream with Bitcoin, that it was going to replace the financial system and replace banks. Well, you can pretty much say that that's dead. As soon as you got BlackRock owning, tens of thousands of Bitcoin, and the way ETFs work, I mean, that the underlying asset is effectively probably going to be permanently removed from the market so that it can be used for the ETFs. Probably, it probably does open up to the type of manipulation that you get in other stock prices, or other commodity prices, if you want to look at Bitcoin as a commodity. Overall, I mean, it's going to be a mixed bag with anything. I think you can look at it positively, in that it makes the average investor, probably it makes it easier for them to invest in something like that, or invest in an analog of it at any rate, or a derivative. And the idea that with the regulation, and there's some high degree of safety. I'm not sure whether that's true in reality, because there's plenty of examples of rug pulls in the regular financial industry, or the amount of fines that they've paid, the big banks have paid for deceptive practices. But in the eyes, or in the minds of I suppose the normie investor, like there is sort of like the seal of approval, and the illusion of investment safety or reputability, simply because there's a bank running an ETF now, rather than just buying off an exchange for which to a certain extent I think is true. I mean, I think probably people don't understand the technologies behind cryptocurrencies. They don't understand the risks behind it. They don't understand the types of scams that you have. I mean, we probably do better than most, because we've been in the space for a couple of years and we've seen a lot. But most people don't understand what cryptos are. They don't really understand what NFTs are. They don't understand what NFTs are capable of doing. Like whether they think it's anything more than just a JPEG collection.
What's a JPEG?
Yeah. Let's not get started on PNGs. My goodness. But like, I mean, I think it's probably, overall, I can see it as positive, simply because there's going to be more liquidity coming into the space. But it's whether or not these ETFs effectively become means of manipulating the underlying assets, as well as so the financial institutions creeping back in that the whole cryptocurrency space was supposed to free humanity from, which I think it's probably a bit naive to begin with. But if that was the dream, then you can probably kiss it goodbye. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think XRP has probably always been associated with the banking elite, so I don't think it's sort of tainted by the whole the anarchic vibe that you get from BTC and Monero and some of the other earlier cryptos that were sort of more counterculture. As XRP has always been cozying up to the establishment.
The black sheep.
Yeah, cozying up to the establishment. Oh, it's the banker's coin, and it's like So some people said used to say that investing in XRP is like shorting humanity, because if the banks do get over it and take it over and use it for all the money, it's like, well, you might. It's probably the worst slave system that you can imagine. Like, but I mean, I don't think that's going to happen either. But yeah, look, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I think one of the big things like that was really prevalent during the bull run was just the amount of free money that was being pumped into the system by government, particularly because of all the shutdowns that they had because of the the COVID alleged virus, where they were paying people to stay at home and not work, and a lot of that money went into crypto, and that's why some of the asset valuations that you got at the time, plus all the quantitative easing that was going on in the banks. And I think we'll probably move another cycle of quantitative easing relatively soon. I think that's when we're going to see a lot more capital inflows into the whole crypto space, and start to see some of those asset prices go up again.
Guys, you want to start closing it out here? We're approaching an hour. Anything else you want to add on?
I'll do a quick one. How can people get involved in Lootbox regarding new projects, anyone doing something new? NFT wise.
Well, I mean, anybody's welcome to join the Discord. We can, like, if you're a project developer and you'd like to reach a bit of an audience that you haven't tapped into beforehand, just jump in the Discord, or you can DM myself or Sionnie or DiGertsi on Twitter. Like, my DMs are usually open, so yeah, if you want to get in touch with us and just ask about how we can help you out and how we can introduce, if you've got a new project that you'd like to introduce to our community, we can help you with that. We're not pay to play, like, we never suggest we are. But I mean, if you support us, we'll support you. That's about as far as we go.
Are you on Twitter as well, Adam?
Yeah. So if you go to Lootbox, LootBoxNFT, XRPL, I think is the URL. But
we'll put the links up anyway. So.
We'll put the descriptions down.
Or my own personal Twitter. You can get it through either that.
LootBoxNFT _XRPL.
Perfect.
There you go, son.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we'll put the links up. So any new projects, reach out to Lootbox.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be great. And we'd love to help feature you and introduce you to some of our members, and hopefully get you some new holders. And then the rest of it's up to the project to be able to retain and build. But we've got no problem sort of helping people when they start out, because I mean, it was something that we had to do ourselves like a while back, and it can be daunting. So
everyone starts out somewhere.
Exactly, and it's all and there's like the dev chat, I think, is pretty cool, because it's somewhere where people can just swap. They can ask questions of other devs, like have you tried this, or anybody got experience doing that, and people are more than happy to help each other out, and in between projects, and as well as like setting up collabs and things like that. So there have been a few like smaller projects that have sort of like started going through Lootbox, and then they've gone on to collab with other projects, and get a bunch of really good holders that give them a ready market for the new NFTs that they have coming out. So it's been good. I think it's been a positive addition to the space.
Yeah, we just try to have some fun along the way as well. It's not just all serious.
Gotta have fun, DJ. Gotta have fun.
Yeah, it's the main thing is it's a degen mint in steroids. You never know what you're gonna get. So and it's fun.
And it's also great to meet new people.
Always.
Yeah, it's great for that too.
We're always open for meeting new like-minded people that have a positive attitude towards the whole crypto thing, and be it NFTs or tokens or whatever. Yeah. Just hop in and have a chat.
Well, guys, thanks for being here. We put the links up in the description, as always. And with that, Nick?
Do I do the normal one or the new one?
Do the 2024. Yeah, there you go.
2024 to the noom. To the moon.
Thanks, guys.
Hello, gents. Thanks ever so much. Catch
Thanks,
you later.
guys. Talk to you soon.
Yes.